YouTube's Scandalous Scandals by Fox Akimbo. How many what are the biggest YouTube scandals? Can anybody name them? Save the Kids. Ooh, that's a big one. Logan Paul Forrest. Okay, yeah, true. I think in this video, maybe he's talking about YouTuber drama, like kind of mixing it in. But I think he's just talking about YouTube scandals, YouTube alone. Apocalypse has to be here. So let's see what's up with this.
Popping up all around us over the past few weeks. So please be sure to follow me on all of my socials, each of which are linked in the description of this video. And with that said, let's get into things.
What did I say?
I'm going to start out with some more recent breaking stories before we delve into the classics. So what better place to start than Ned Fulmer's cheating scandal? Now here's the
Oh bro, this is Did anybody watch the Try Guys? I'm assuming, like, I don't know what happened after this. I don't watch them. This was huge. This really hit the mainstream news. No. I only heard of them during the scandal. I knew who they were. I remember them specifically from BuzzFeed.
I've seen a bit of the Try Guys back in the day, and he was my favorite of the four, so I take no pleasure in telling this story. But with that said, if you've somehow been living under a rock and don't know who the Try Guys are, they were perhaps BuzzFeed's most famous employees back in the day, probably their most successful since leaving the site. And their deal was
okay, that was blurred. I'm not gonna lie, I had a heart attack. Oh my god, I thought, you know what's out of my mind? I'm like, my YouTube career's over, my Twitch career's over, everything's over.
They would try things out. Even adultery. Even celebrity lingerie. What? Yep. They try things out, from trying to explain RuPaul's Drag Race to straight men to trying to get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, each of the four Try Guys had their own things, their own personalities. For example, here's Zach. He's the small one, and he wears glasses. Eugene, he's the cool, introverted one. Keith, he has a big mouth, and he likes eating.
What? Bad explanation.
And he also wears glasses. And then there was Ned, whose entire thing was that he was a family man that loved his wife.
Oh yeah, this was the
Apparently not enough to not jam his tongue down his employees' throat.
This is such a devious... This is one of the worst things you could ever do. It's even worse that it got leaked at TMZ. It's always funny seeing something get leaked at TMZ. It's always TMZ, it's never anybody else.
Though, said employee was due to be married, and the two of them were caught out in public making out and touching each other. This proved the rumours of many Try Guys fans who had been noticing that Ned had recently been edited out of some of the more recent videos, and he, as well as his wife, have since—
Wait, how the fuck are they gonna edit him out the whole video? Hey there, Tommy NFG here. Just a little reminder to make sure to subscribe because only about 30% of you guys watching this are actually subscribed. Also tune into the Twitch streams every once in a while. You know, we have a lot of fun there. There's a lot of fun that goes on there. So I'm ending it right here. Let's go back to the video.
Recently been edited out of some of the—
Wait, did they just chop his head off? This man was a part of the group. They just cut his, they chopped his head off? They photoshopped his head off?
The more recent videos, and he, as well as his wife, have since come out with brief statements, with Ned stating that he lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship, and Ariel saying that she wished for privacy in this tough time. All of this
no! It means a lot. Nothing is more important to me and need than our family, and all we request right now is that you respect our privacy for the sake of our kids. This man had kids? I thought it was just him and his wife. He has kids? That is actually... The thing is sick itself, but you having a child and doing that, like, whenever you throw in a child and a parent, it just makes it 10 times worse.
Ariel saying that she wished for privacy in this tough time. All of this is, again, such a shock considering that for anyone that watches the Try Guys, they have always seen Ned...
It has to be the LA scene. You can already tell they're in LA.
As a fatherly figure, a committed family man, but this is yet...
From San Francisco, I never hear anything good from there. People are complaining, like saying there's too many people on the streets. There's never anything good.
It's another example that goes to show that we really don't know our favorite online creators. That no matter how much we think we might know about them, we're really just lying to ourselves. With that said, I definitely think they should delete the video where the Try Guys try out bridesmaids dresses for Ned's mistress, because that has really not aged well. Or anything else that's come out of this man's mouth for the past decade for that matter. As of a result of this, the Try Guys have parted ways with Ned, and we're still waiting for a response from the YouTube group. Perhaps by the time this video comes out, we'll have some answers, but as of the 29th of September 2022, when I'm writing this, nothing yet has surfaced.
Boy in a band allegations? Oh, this motherfucker. This dude.
For our second and final very recent story, we have one that's been much more hush around.
Hold on, but we can't even lie though. We can't even lie though before he gets to it. He was spitting bars right here.
I wasn't taught how to get a job, but I can remember dissecting a frog. I wasn't taught how to pay tax, but I know loads about Shakespeare's classics. I was never taught.
That's a classic right there.
Around online spaces. It's been somewhat swept under the rug, it seems.
What I found when I searched up Netflix cheating versus boy in a band allegations.
And a lot of people I know didn't have a clue about this, despite the fact that it came out a few weeks ago now. So we need to talk about Dave from Boy in a Band. He's best known for his song back in 2015, Don't Stay in School, which, by the way, that title has not aged well whatsoever. But this
oh my god, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, brother, you need to stay away from the schools. You got a restraining order for every school now.
Song brought up some really interesting and well-made points about the modern school system in a hit rap that captured the attention of tens of millions. From there, he grew his YouTube channel, gaining millions of subscribers and collaborating with only the best and most famous content creators in the world. PewDiePie, iDubbbz, Jaden Animations, The Odd Ones Out, huge names. And I hate to break it to you if you don't know this already. I hate to be the guy to say it because I watched a lot of his content in the past. I really enjoyed it too, but some of the accusations that have been levied against him are very, very serious. He hasn't come out to confirm nor deny these stories. Actually, he's been radio silent on social media for years now, but...
Oh, did he not say... Did he still... This is old, right? How old is this? This is 6 months ago. He must have said something by now.
Long story short, a number of women in the double digits apparently who knew him or dated him for various amounts of time, apparently between 1 to 6 years, they have all banded together to disclose some of the abuse that they have received at the hands of the former YouTuber. They've accused him of physically striking one of his exes, of grooming fans, of encouraging eating disorders, which is ironic because he obviously made Jaden Animations' music video about eating disorders. Which I think I need to pause here and say that while I mentioned that he's collaborated with various huge creators in the past, personally I think it's very unlikely that any of them actually knew about this stuff, because I don't think...
Literally none of them knew about it. That's the scary thing though about I guarantee none of them knew about it. Most likely. I'm saying most likely because they're probably just there collaborating. And that's the scary thing. That's why I'd be scared sometimes to venture out and talk to people. Because y'all don't understand. As soon as you're associated with someone somewhat, even if you don't know even if something happens in the future, right? You didn't know anything that happened with them. You didn't know. They didn't give off any vibes like that. You're the one in trouble. You're the one in trouble. Like, for example, that Kai Cenat scenario I think it was a couple months ago by now, where there was allegations of rape, like his friend. People were more mad at Kai. I'll never forget that. They were not even talking about the dude that actually did it. They were more mad at Kai. And at that point, I was like, yeah, social media, you can't trust people. You can't trust people. And that dude gave off, to him, according to him, no vibes like that.
That a person with an eating disorder, for example, would willingly make a music video with someone who would actively encourage them. That's all I wanted to say. Unpause. So that's where we're at now. I don't think that Boy in a Band will ever come back. These accusations, though believed by the public, will likely never get a response from Dave himself. Who knows if any of his online associates will even address it. As of writing this, none of them have. And yes, another person who we grew up with...
They don't have to address it, though. They don't have to, like, address it. Unless if they're asked about it, yeah. But it's kind of like, damn, they're probably... As long as you cut ties from that person, then that's all it is.
Thinking he was a good guy has turned out to be a twist villain. With the Try Guys and the Boy of the Band stories out of the way, let's move on to some more classic scandals.
Okay. Child gambling promotions? What era of YouTube was this? Well, gambling promotions, they used to be a thing. I think they're still a thing, but... Oh, this is the T. Martin thing. We all know about this one.
The next one is yet another one that I've spoken about
CS:GO Lotto. We all know about this
but I want to once again briefly touch on it because it's definitely one of the biggest scandals that YouTube has ever seen, and that's the promotion of gambling to children, which is bad enough as it is, but it's the promotion of gambling to children to earn fat paychecks, and it's the promotion of gambling to children to earn...
$100,000 offer that other YouTube creators said they've also received and turned down. Now look, y'all condemning in the chat and shit and whatever. I'm gonna ask y'all real quick. Y'all are not in my shoes and a big YouTuber shoes, but imagine you were right now. Imagine you took the shoes of a huge YouTuber, right? At this instant. Are y'all going to promote this for 100K? I would. Bag chasing? No. I need it. Yes. Bread is bread. 100K is 100K. Hell yes.
Earn fat paychecks, and there are two main examples that I want to talk about. Both of them you might have heard of in the past.
CS:GO
So
Lotto.
the first one dates back to 2016, where huge YouTubers T Martin and Syndicate were found out to have been promoting.
Bro, what happened to Syndicate? This man was really carrying COD. Some of y'all may not even know. It's crazy. This was our allié, okay? Some of y'all younger fucking Cocomelon kitty fucks, y'all had allié. This was our allié, but no, 10 times better. What am I saying? 10 times better.
CS:GO skin gambling site called CS:GO Lotto, without disclosing that they actually
Fake
had
some of his
skin
vids.
in the game, being the owner and vice president respectively. Obviously, they were promoting it to try and get money in their pocket.
Single-handedly, this is the worst frame, worst pause, worst video in existence. Still to this day.
It was extremely shady, to say the least. Years later, yet another duo of money-grubbing mingers decided to try their hand at scamming their child audience, and that was Jake Paul and Rice Scum,
Oh,
who
nah.
promoted
I know about
Mystery
this
Brand,
one.
an
Pretty sure I
online
know
loot
about this
box
one.
that promised the users
Yeah,
all
the
of their
loot
most
thing.
vain and consumeristic wet dreams. If you spent a few quid, you could get designer shoes or AirPods or the latest Apple product, whatever.
Damn! This had 5.3 million views? Rice Gum really had people moving back then. 5.3 mil is nuts.
Whatever the f it was. It was sick in a few ways. Firstly, because these guys once again were paid to
I'm
promote
not gonna lie, this was the worst era too. The vlog era, that was one of the worst eras of YouTube.
website, and they didn't
Somebody
disclose
did say
it.
it was the worst era.
But secondly, because the prizes that were being offered were just the most bland, generic luxury items that child NPCs love to own. Both
True.
the CS:GO Lotto and the Mystery Brand scandals were found out, and all four of these men were lambasted by other creators online.
Jack Maynard canceled for old tweets. Aren't we at the point where we're not caring about old tweets? Who is this?
So this one's going to hit a bit closer to home. This was all over
He must have been saying like the hard R for him to be completely canceled. Hard R, F slur, crazy things.
news a few years ago here in the UK, and it surrounds YouTuber Jack Maynard, who was kicked off the British reality competition show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Oh,
Now,
damn.
I'm not sure how popular this show is overseas, so I'll give you a short rundown of it. The premise of the show...
See, I could never be on one of these survival shows. I would leave after the first round. There's no way I'd even go through the first round. I'd be like, all right, put these worms in your mouth for $100. I'd be like, nope, I'm out. I'm out. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue. I don't give a fuck if I gotta work at McDonald's my entire life. I will continue doing that.
a few more than a dozen minor celebrities. Most of them are like C tier, but every now and then you'll get someone a bit more famous. And these celebrities will be dropped traditionally in the middle of Australia, and they have to go and compete various challenges in order to get food for their camp. As the weeks go by, they'll one by one be voted off by the general
Oh, this looks
audience
kinda
until
cool.
one person is crowned king or queen of the jungle. People such as Gino
look
D'Acampo,
kinda cool.
Mo Farah, Caitlyn Jenner, and Gemma Collins have competed. But in 2017, it was about to make history when I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here invited their first ever online creator onto the show. It was a good idea in theory. It opened up a new young audience to watch the show for them, and as for the creators, they love nothing more than expanding into mainstream media as we've seen in the past few years. So what was the
Okay, here's the thing about that. If you used a name like KSI or something, even Jake Paul, then yeah. Who the fuck is Jack Maynard? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's popular. Maybe he's popular, but you gotta use like a huge name, because reality TV in general fell off.
problem? Well, the problem
bring
was
a
that what Jack
huge name.
Maynard said before going into the jungle that he wanted to make the internet proud, his tweets from 5 years prior would cast a cloud
Oh, nah. Yeah, alright then. Completely forgot you know how it got you. Jeez. Nando's and film with my niggas. Hashtag can't say no. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Tommy called it. I didn't call anything. The video called it. Yeah, Nando's with my niggas. That's valid.
Of judgment upon online creators.
Add Alice. This is what my try me. Haha. Shut up, you. Okay, I'm not gonna say that.
Back in the year 2012, when he was 17 years old, Jack Maynard tweeted out several slurs, and when he was about to go on the show, these
Watching the b-ball. Watching the b-ball with my real niggas. Yeah, this is so funny. I just read it like that in my head. That is so funny. I can imagine him typing that. And he even put the basketball emoji right here.
resurfaced and it brought up a conversation which has been spoken about many times over the years. These tweets were made when the then 22-year-old was just 17, and they were made in a time before the rise of the social justice movement and woke culture.
Honestly, I'm surprised. You would think it would be like, what? When do people get exposed? People usually get exposed, yeah, back then, I guess, but typically it's also 2016, like 2018.
To what extent can you be criticized or deplatformed for something that you did half a decade ago? These tweets cost him a golden opportunity. It's to my understanding that he left the show after just 3 episodes. Some people thought that the punishment fit the crime, though others were more forgiving of his actions, but what was to be done? Jack Maynard had left the jungle, and that was that. A very interesting scandal.
Yeah, bro, this is doing too much. I'm just trying to go. I'm kind of confused, though, because it's just like this tweets from 5 years ago is always like between 5 to 10 years ago. But like the thing is, when I think of back then, how bad were the timelines? Like when I look at my Twitter timelines, I be seeing some wild stuff. How bad were their timelines? Because every time you see some it's always from 2016. I want to see how a 2016, I wasn't using Twitter in 2016, or 2012 Twitter timeline looked like.
To say the least, but definitely not one that painted online creators in a very positive light. With that said, if any I'm a Celebrity producers are watching this video, I'd let it be known that if the paycheck is right, I wouldn't mind going out to Australia and chomping down on a witchetty grub or a kangaroo penis.
Oh, no, you got it.
Just putting my CV out there for the next series.
Oh, Elsagate. This was disgusting. This was disgusting. And tell me why. Tell me why now. I've seen videos and it's kind of back. Apparently Elsagate is kind of back now, but it's not as crazy. I saw some commentary video. They're using a character from Poppy Playtime. It's giving me flashbacks and PTSD to this era, and I don't like it.
I really couldn't make this video without the OG scandal.
Using SCPs.
Perhaps the most famous of all time,
oh my God.
Elsagate. If it's not apparent, I'm not a parent. Not yet, at least. But I think one of parents' biggest fears would be to find out that their children have been consuming horribly inappropriate content. And in 2016 and 2017, those fears would come true. Because it was in those years that it was discovered that there was this hugely
What the f is this doing? What is he doing? What even is this? Elsagate, a call to action, top 10 worst channels.
Disturbed underbelly of YouTube, in which videos that were posing as harmless kids content, including characters such as Elsa, Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse, the Paw Patrol, and the Avengers, were actually home to some overtly violent or sexual content.
Nope.
It's hard to show you guys any footage because the platform has basically culled all of sexual content over the past 5 years or so. Nor would I even necessarily...
I'm confused. What were these channels thinking of? Like, how did they really sit down in a room, script a video like this, saying, all right, we got a banger type of video for the kids today, for the kiddies today. You dress up as Elsa. You dress up as Spider-Man. I'll dress up as the Hulk. And we're gonna shovel sand on top of you.
Necessarily want to, because there were indeed fears that these channels were desensitizing kids, or worse yet, traumatizing them.
No way.
These were characters that kids knew and trusted, and they would see them get injured, maimed, kidnapped, abused, tortured, arrested, or more generally be put in these graphic situations. It was awful for the children and the parents alike, because once the child was trapped in this rabbit hole, autoplay was just going to keep them in there. On top of this, apparently predators would often frequent these videos' comment sections, adding yet another chilling layer to the entire ordeal.
Dude,
One of the largest
so scary. But that's scary because there was really a time when Gepedos had access to, or straight online access to children like that.
Of these channels, Toy Freaks was owned by a man of the name Greg Chisholm, and after it was deemed that his 2 daughters had allegedly been put in abusive situations, Chisholm was investigated by the police, and though he would not face any criminal charges, his channel would be deleted at the 8.5 million.
If I ever caught my kids watching this nigga, I don't even know what I would do.
Subscribers mark. By the end of 2017, YouTube had put various actions in place to prevent predators from frequenting these videos, potentially being one of the reasons why you can no longer comment on YouTube Kids content in the modern day.
Yep,
additionally, hundreds of channels were given the axe, and apparently hundreds of thousands of videos deleted. As I said, this would perhaps be YouTube's biggest scandal of all time, but it would not be its last.
What the hell? Defy Media? I feel like I heard of this.
So this next one wasn't so much of a scandal on YouTube's part, nor was it a scandal on the side of creators, but actually a company whose reputation has been dragged through the mud after accusations of it stealing over $1.7 million from its employees surfaced in January 2019. Of course, I'm talking about Defy Media. So if you haven't heard of this company before, they were originally founded in 1996 under the name Alloy Online. And in 2009, Alloy created a division called Alloy Digital Networks to hold its online properties. Okay. This would eventually turn into Defy Media. And the digital network acquired several creators that you might have heard of, the most popular of these being Smosh and Screen Junkies.
That's where I heard of it from. It was from Smosh, yeah.
Now, Defy Media was an MCN, a multi-channel network. If you're unfamiliar with the term, these guys used to be very popular in the early days of YouTube because they were supposed to do a lot more of the businessy parts of creation, such as signing up for brand deals, sorting out copyright issues, and so on and so forth.
And they never did. Y'all know the funny thing is? The crazy thing is, MCNs hit me up talking about, we can boost your channel. We can help you meet celebrities. Just talk to us and sign up with us. I haven't responded to a single one of those emails. I will never trust one. I'm so happy I started at least doing better on YouTube and whatever, and learning about this when people were actually warning people about it. Because there was a time back then where you had to sign up to one, and people really didn't have any knowledge on it.
Essentially obsolete by YouTube's interface and creators understanding the platform more thoroughly. Essentially, in the modern day, and for a while now...
Hold on, let me go back. Offensive memes that if you laugh, you lose. Version 15. Bro, when was this? I'm not gonna lie, these offensive meme videos I always see, they always put the same thing in the thumbnails. This is off topic, but they always put the same thing in the thumbnails, and it's so cringe.
The platform more thoroughly. Essentially, in the modern day, and for a while now, these companies have been useless. Ian and Anthony of Smosh sold the company to Defy Media for $0, being promised high amounts of stock in Defy Media when the company went public, which it never did. So Anthony Padilla, the creator of Smosh, was a salaried employee for essentially the entire time of Smosh's existence. Matt Pat of Game Theory made a huge video for his channel, which has since taken in over 8 million views, when he went in on Defy in an emotional and heartfelt speech, saying that himself and 49 other creators got screwed by the company. They were consistently lied to and left out in the dust. It's a video I'd recommend checking out if you're interested in this scandal. These facts I included here were merely the footnotes. But nonetheless, it's very common knowledge at this point, the shady dealings of the formerly huge MCNs that infamously took money from creators without giving almost anything back.
Imagine you sign up to a really bad one, because I've had, you know what's crazy? I have people email me from my business email, right? And they're not even professional at this point. They'd be like, all right, here's my Discord name, add me. Where's the professionalism? They're just like, on Discord, I can talk to you, call me. Send me your friend request. Bro, that is not professional at all. Send me your goddamn at least company emails. I get emails, phone numbers, stuff like that. What do you mean send you a friend request? Fuck you. I'm not sending you shit. You want me, right? And those are the really shady ones, though. Those are the really shady ones. A friend request is crazy. They really, I don't know who it was. They really did, though. drugged teens at Jake Paul's house party. Okay, I know a lot about Jake Paul drama. I feel like this would be huge. I feel like this would be huge news that I would have known back then.
So this next one I wanted to include because I feel as though when it happened, it went a bit under the radar. And
Yeah.
it involves my favorite
You think?
YouTuber in the world, Jake Paul. You guys already know how much I love this guy.
Worst
I bought
era
all of his
ever.
merch. I'm a Jake Pauler. Guilty
Oh,
as
hell no.
charged. But seriously, what did this guy do? Well,
Which one of y'all in chat ever wanted a Jake Paul merch? Look, I already told y'all, bro. I wanted Maverick merch. Back in what, like 2016, 2017, I wanted to get one of those backpacks to wear to school. Still, one of the most hardest things to admit, but never did.
well, if you're like me, you must have missed this
All of
one
Jake
because it
Paul
was news
solos?
to me. But in
Those
2019,
ones cooler?
he apparently threw a drug-filled birthday party for the American
Ew, yeah.
to me. But in
Hold on.
2019, he apparently threw a
Little Xan and Designer. Isn't this a perfect image? Wonder where these two are now.
drug-filled birthday party for the American rapper Designer, in which he invited minors. And no, I don't mean the blue-collar miners that spend their days underground. Jakey over here would never associate with that scum. He would associate with teenage girls when he's way into his 20s though, because it was reported that 9 teenage girls were drugged at his party,
Oh no.
signing a disclaimer upon entry. This was leaked by a parent of one of the girls who blasted it on Facebook the next day.
God.
Now, believe it or not, I've been to a party or two in my time,
9?
and I've met a lot of people
man
who
is
got
almost in the
seriously
double
drunk
digits.
and woke up the next day thinking that someone put something in their drink, when in actuality,
Bro, what the fuck type of party are
seriously
y'all at?
drunk and woke up the next day
So I can never go to one of these ravey, isn't that what they're called? Raves. That's what they're called. Why'd I say ravey? I can never go to one of these things. Too many flashing lights. I probably have a seizure or something.
thinking that someone put something in their drink, when in actuality, they'd just taken 5 shots in a minute, blacked out, forgot about it, and threw up all over themselves. But based on just how many teenage girls reported getting spiked, I think it's more fair to say that something iffy was afoot here. On top of that,
Jeez.
based on the pictures of this house party, there would have been a ton of people there. Everyone apart from me, apparently. My invite must have been lost in the post or something. But the Facebook statement
bro. You don't wanna
itself
go
is
there. You don't
seriously
wanna go there.
worrying. This wasn't someone posting it to mainstream media. It was posted to a Facebook group with all of the mums of the local area within it.
What?
And according to a report from The Independent, an official complaint was made by a female guest who also suspects that she was drugged at the party.
Why did I not hear of this?
Very suspicious, but not something I've ever at the party. Very suspicious, but not something
So it was
I'd
reported,
ever
but nothing
heard
came out of
before.
it.
And since I am Jake Paul's #1 fan, I thought that it was strange. This guy's been in hot water before, but I thought I had heard all of his controversies.
That is
apparently not.
horrible.
With recent events on Twitch, it looks like this wouldn't be the last controversial party that online creators would host, but it was surely one of the first.
Samurai buyer scams the internet?
So we're heading back to the mid-2010s to talk about this next
Oh
story.
my god. Edgy YouTube. iDubbbz 2016. You know in this video what was dropped? A solid 5 N-words was dropped in this video. A solid 3 F-slurs was dropped in this video. Racist shit, homophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic. You know everything was dropped in this video. It's crazy how much the YouTube landscape has really changed. Like, I guarantee anything in this video wouldn't remotely slide at all. Guarantee. I haven't even watched this. But this was his iDubbbz bad unboxing. I know this series.
That might unlock a small
All the
memory
phobics
within
and
your
isms,
head.
every single one.
It's the story of Samurai Buyer. So if you don't remember this or need help recalling events, a few years ago in like 2015, 2016 time, there was an unknown businessman known as Misaki who some YouTubers such as I Hate Everything and iDubbbz and Jaden Animations were approached by. He was representing a company called Samurai Buyer, who were selling authentic Japanese loot boxes to people.
Damn.
So this supposed Japanese man with broken English would send over a box of authentically Japanese goodies to creators who would then review them on video, noting within these videos how funny it was to talk to this guy. A lot of the time these creators would think that they were having a laugh at the expense of Misaki, but in reality, it had all been masterminded, and Misaki would get the last laugh. For you see, the quality of the items featured in these YouTube
Oh my god. This is Max Mofo. Some of y'all don't even know. This man is really, this man was sending all the samurai stores to the edgy YouTubers back then. This is wild.
His videos fluctuated, and there were countless fans who ordered their boxes and claimed that the items within them were damaged or outright broken, if they even came at all or without unexpected charges. And all around, many people thought that this thing was all a giant scam. Additionally, it's been theorized that many of these quirky conversations that he had with creators had been put on, because not only would he change his writing style depending on who he was speaking to, playing it up more edgy for edgy creators and more cutie for tame creators, but having listened to him speak on Skype, he has a much better understanding of English than his emails would have led on. It's therefore thought that the guy behind the emails was a character, a marketing technique to get these creators to plug his work. And then there were the horrible working conditions claimed by someone that was said to have been hired by Masaki, a guy known online as Merryweather, who quit his job to go work for...
named himself as the am I tripping? That's the GTA, the people you calling GTA and stuff, to get a hit, to put a hit on somebody.
Masaki after iDubbbz had advertised a position as a social media marketing manager for Masaki's company, Samurai Buyer. It was his dream job, so he quit his job in Scandinavia to go to Japan. But after working for Samurai Buyer for about a year or so, he was fired without any warning. He apparently received extreme ridicule and insults from Masaki and was barely able to get back home. Since then, Merryweather has come out with his experience. And though Samurai Buyer was shut down in 2020, it's hard to not forget the time.
Hold on, let me see that buyer real quick.
And those
official company Twitter, proxy auction and transfer service, Weeaboo Goods to the world since 2014. Stay for the memes. I ain't gonna lie, if you fell for somebody that was selling authentic Japanese goods and they had a Weeaboo Goods in their bio, you deserve it. What type of Japanese company is putting Weeaboo for Weeaboo Goods in their title? Why would they ever do that?
Samurai Buyer was shut down in 2020, it's hard to not forget the time that this seemingly innocent Japanese man Masaki, with hilarious and wacky broken English, took the whole internet for a ride, one creator at a time. If you want a more thorough explanation of events, The Right's Opinion has an hour-long video describing it in much more detail, which I leaned on in research for this portion of my own video. I'd recommend checking that video out, because it's great.
What is this? The Disaster of Social Gloves. Isn't this a boxing thing? Or am I wrong?
This is Austin McBroom. And this was...
Oh, this was Austin McBroom's? Bryce Hall versus Austin McBroom's? Oh my god, I know about this. His
influencer boxing event, Social Gloves.
It's crazy. Bryce was really talking all that shit just to get dropped in a solid 0.1 seconds in the ring. That is crazy.
Battle of the Platforms, which pitted 6 YouTubers against 6 TikTokers and proved once and for all almost...
this is when Deji got folded and he got made fun of for losing to Vinny Hacker. That's still wild to me. Vinny Hacker with you is actually like tough, but this is the point where people started to get really disappointed with Deji. I remember.
Unanimously that YouTube content creators were the dominant alphas when it came to physicality, thus proving a fact that we knew all along that YouTubers are clearly superior. All would have gone well for McBroom that night. Not only did he win his fight, but his side won overall. But, and this is a huge but, the event lost a ton of money. McBroom had anticipated that it would make hundreds of millions, but after only selling 136,000 subscriptions at between $50 and $90, you can see that even with the most generous estimations, if every one of those subscriptions were bought at the top tier package, which they were not, McBroom would have been way under his estimate.
What is that, 12 million? Yeah, that's 12 million. I don't know who this man thought he was. Even the most... All right, let me search that up real quick. The most sold is 4.6 million. For Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. And what did he say? He wants to make multi-millions? So even, look, he would have to, even the last one right here. Evander Holyfield versus George Foreman. This was 1.4 million buys. They were not going to get nearly close to that. I don't understand who he thought he was. That's 80 million right there alone.
Of 10 million subscriptions. So some people would have to take a pay cut. And by that I mean they weren't paid at all. Various TikTokers stepped into the ring that night, got their ass clapped by their YouTube counterparts, and got paid squat for it. Creators Nate Wyatt and Taylor Holder reportedly sent out lawsuits against this guy. NBA star James Harden sent out legal papers to him as well, and LiveX Live are trying to get him...
Huh? James Harden?
For one, James Harden sent out legal papers to him.
When the fuck was James Harden? Why? I'm not gonna lie, he kind of just I think he just wanted to get into it. He was like, oh damn, people are suing? Yeah, lawsuit.
Him as well, and LiveX Live are trying to get him
Bro just
for
wanted to join in.
$100 million.
I'm a hater at
Other
heart
creators that fought, such as Deji and Anise Gibb, were thought to have been paid in advance. Likely seeing this as the farce that it was, they wanted their money up front. Were people just not interested in who would win out of YouTubers versus TikTokers? Were the headlines just not drawing in the big bucks? Was there not enough promotion for the event? Or could it have been a mixture?
And this is nobody. Oh my god, they have 10K followers. I literally have half of that on Twitter right now. Only, look, brother or sister, 10,000 for an event that's hyped up. 10,000 followers for an account that's about entertainment and hyped up to be the pinnacle of boxing. Top 10 is not going to work. 10,000 followers is not going to work for that. That is not going to work for that.
Of all of these things, it probably was.
Tommy out numbers now.
Logan
Twitch
Paul
followers
has since come out and called many of the business decisions made, quote, fucking stupid, and it's all gone down in infamy for perhaps being the worst YouTube boxing event of all time. Definitely, if there was ever a YouTube-related
cool fights there, yeah, like this one. Bad pause. God, I felt so... You gotta kind of feel bad for Deji every time he lost. Twitter was just posting memes like, Deji when he's 45 trying to box.
Scandal to be included in this video, this one would absolutely have to be there, so it is. Okay, so that's all we have time for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe. We're marching on to 100,000 subscribers, and I'd love it if you could join me for the ride. Also, be sure to follow me on all of my socials, especially my Twitch. I'll be streaming very, very soon. Just got my capture card today. And aside from that, please let me know down in the comments.
Okay. That was a good video. Yeah, some of these weren't really, like, they were just more creator scandals, I feel like. What's the worst one here? Worst one? Oh, no Adpocalypse. Yeah, he didn't include the Adpocalypse. That was such, like, that had to be included. I don't even know. EDP, like, this is... It's Elsagate. Yeah, it's Elsagate. What am I saying? It's Elsagate. It's Elsagate.